Hi everybody, it's Hayley. This is the pregnancy vlogs, week 17 through to 20. So I've had I've had a couple of appointments since I've turned 17 weeks. The first one was at 19 weeks and that was a scan, a cervical length scan and then a quick abdominal scan. Everything was fine with that. Went in to see the doctor, everything was fine. Did have to wait a very long time to see the doctor. We ended up being 2.5 hours over our actual appointment time before we actually left, so wasn't really impressed. I saw a junior doctor. She was an hour and 45 minutes late calling us in, and then when we got in the room she basically said, "So what's the plan?" And she didn't have a clue, even though she got my notes in front of her. She did not have a clue what was going on. So she said she had to go and ask the consultant who was next door, and that might take time because the consultant was taking people in as well. And basically half an hour later she came back in the room and then basically said, "We'll see you here." So it was a bit of a waste of a time really, but you know, at least everything was okay. And then we also went for our 20-week scan, which is the anatomy scan. Went on Thursday, so a couple of days ago. Everything's absolutely fine with the baby at the moment. The head, the brain and the heart and all the organs were there and they looked like they were functioning well. She did say the baby was a bit of a fidget, so it took a little bit of time to get some of the measurements, because the baby was like laying low in my pelvis as well. She was able to see what the gender of the baby is, and it's a girl, so that's great. Obviously we don't mind, we've never minded, you know, what we've had, because I feel lucky to have any baby. So you know, that was the least important thing really. The most important was that hopefully the baby's healthy, but they didn't see anything that would suggest otherwise, so that was great. They also told me that my placenta has moved as well, because I don't know if I remember to mention this in a previous video, but I went for a scan at 16 weeks and the placenta was lying over the cervix, so there was a danger of it being a placenta previa, which is where it's a low-lying placenta, but they did say at the time that the placenta can migrate upwards the further along in pregnancy that you go, and it has done, so it's already moved, so that's good. I'm pleased about that because I was a little bit worried about that. Yeah, so everything so far so good. I've actually started back at work since my last video, and I do about 3 days a week. I do work about an hour to an hour and 50 minutes away from where I live, but it has been okay. I mean, the early mornings were a bit difficult to start with, but they're fine now. And yeah, everything's been going okay. So I'll show you my bump then. There it is. You can see it's growing. I do feel quite big now. I'm feeling lots of movements as well, so that's lovely. Anyway, so hopefully see you again for my next update. Bye.